So tell me a little bit about Beit T'shuvah. How long has it been around and how did it get started?
25 years ago, by a woman named Harriet Rosetto. She's a licensed social worker. She took a job counseling Jewish people in jails and prisons. While she was doing that work, she discovered that most of the people behind bars were there for addiction-related crime. You know, she first was surprised that Jewish people were behind jails and prisons, and that's what attracted her to do the work. She was interested, who are these people and why are they there? And what she discovered was that by the time these people got to becoming an inmate, that they had really become bankrupt spiritually and emotionally, financially, and in every aspect of their life, and that nobody wanted them. And a lot of what she did in her position was to try to find people a place to go to when they were released. She was also curious about addiction. You know, how do people become addicted? What is addiction? So she did a lot of her own research. She went to 12-step meetings. She read a lot of books. She tried to understand what is this separation in the people that end up knowing what's right and wrong, but doing wrong and ending up behind prison.
So this curiosity about these people who are incongruent with their faith-based value and beliefs, and then this behavior.
You know, their moral values, right. And so what she saw was not only was there this discrepancy within the people that she saw behind bars who were very much like her, came from a good family, a good neighborhood, educated, but that she identified with them. She identified with the piece inside her that can give in to the inclination to do wrong or to have evil thoughts. So she came up with this idea because it was very hard for her to find places to place people once they were released from prison, with a community to help people recover themselves and to find their way back. You know?
And that was the impetus for Beit T'shuvah.
It was.
So tell us a little about this facility in Los Angeles. It's a residential facility?
It's residential and it's outpatient.
So they serve both?
Right. We serve adults and we serve youth. Okay. The residential program is only for adults. Mm-hmm. In the current facility, we have about 135 beds for adults 18 and older. A third of them are women. A quarter of them have a gambling addiction or a co-occurring disorder. Probably another 50 to 60% report substance abuse. The rest have a variety of disorders, eating disorders, sexual or compulsive sexual disorders, and different kinds of mental illnesses. Tell us about the staff and the treatment providers. Who are the clinicians that work here? Well, Beit T'shuvah is a 501c3 charity, so we spend every dollar that we make here or that we raise here. So most of the treatment is done by a combination of paid staff, which we have about 40 people who are addiction counselors and techs, and people like myself who are licensed clinicians. The rest of the treatment is provided by either our trainees, MSWs, MFT trainees, volunteer licensed psychologists and therapists, spiritual counselors. We have a rabbi, a rabbinical intern, and a cantorial intern here, and then several other rabbinical interns. We use a multi-modality approach here to treatment. That was really the impetus behind the name Beit T'shuvah, meaning the house of return. So when you say a multimodality, it sounds like there's a spiritual component that's part of the program. Tell us about some of the other components of the program. Well, in a broad way, we integrate spirituality with psychotherapy in 12 steps. But what we found is that there is a different path to healing for each person. So we've developed a litany of other kinds of therapies. Some call them bottom-up therapies, everything from the arts to surfing, to music, to wellness activities, acupuncture, so a variety of different things.
So trying to just take a holistic, comprehensive approach to treatment.
Absolutely, because we see addiction as a symptom of the divide itself, or as we call it, a spiritual dis-ease. Okay. So we're here to treat the person, the whole person, not the symptom of the addiction.
So tell us a bit about the composition in terms of, does someone have to be Jewish to come to this facility? Is it open to people from all faiths or people that don't belong to any faith at all?
For the most part, it's open to all faiths. Because we're a charity, and one of the tenets of Harriet's mission was never to turn anybody away who couldn't afford to pay, most of the money for the last 25 years that we've raised to support the treatment here has come from the Jewish community. But from time to time, we have people who come here who are not Jewish, and we don't discriminate against people who are not Jewish. However, the spiritual part of the program is a mandatory part of the program. So if you're not into wanting to participate in the spiritual part, or you don't resonate to the Jewish overlay, or the Jewish part of the program, then it's probably not the right program for you.
What have non-Jewish people of faith said in terms of the patients that have come through here? What's been their experience? Have they said that that's fine? Did they find that that was overwhelming? What was their reaction?
I don't know. You can ask some of the people after you talk to me, but ironically, some of the people who come here who are not Jewish have resonated the most. And I see it as because we do spirituality different. We do Judaism different than most people, how most people were raised. So folks here who come as Jews, they associate the Judaism with the way they were raised, being forced, it's being contrived, being more about the extrinsic value of the religion and not the intrinsic value of the spiritual part. So the people who come here who aren't Jewish like the spiritual part of the program, because it's not so much about the letter of the law, it's really about what does it mean to live spiritually, what does it mean to be a whole person, what does it mean to be congruent. That everybody who's come before us in this lifetime and lifetimes before us have struggled with the same things. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. A lot of times when you ask patients about their spirituality, they begin to tell you about their religious practice as though they were one and the same. And, you know, sometimes people use religious practice as a conduit to achieving spirituality, but that may or may not be the case.
Well, you know, the way we see it working here and all the research we've done in our program and what we've known intuitively is the spiritual part of our program is the foundation of what we do here. And you know, and I'm a licensed therapist, and when I first came here, you know, the tension between, you know, where does spirituality start and spirituality start, or religion start and psychology start, and where's the overlap for that, and where's the real healing coming from. But most of the people we treat have not been able to attach to a person. That along the way, in their journey, they have lost trust in human beings. And I think it's really through the spiritual part of our program and what we teach here and what we do as a community is a way to bring people back to feeling like they matter in this world. And it gives them the ability to trust other people. That
sense of belonging to a community has obviously been shown to be quite therapeutic in terms of outcomes for addictive disorders.
Right. Community and shared values. Right. Being part of something.